Unfortunately, this might be the last Adtopsy ever because
Yes, you're lying.
Oh my gosh.
I have to see the analytics. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of surprising to me. I have like tons of reasons why I think it was not the top performer, but
Are you
I could
messing?
go either way on this.
welcome back, everyone, to the 4th episode of Adtopsy, bringing in that crazy energy, which I've been told to do by somebody. We have a great episode here. We have Dr. Rachel Jackson is back. Dr. Barry Hott is back. Aaron, the assistant to the regional note taker, is back. We have Dr. Ike is also back. And we have a very special guest, Dr. Sarah Levenger. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here. Let's get into it. I'm so ready.
Sarah is one of the biggest brains in the DTC space. Sarah, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm a creative strategist. I'm a consumer behavior analyst. So my job on a daily basis is to study people and humans. And so I was so excited when you invited me on this because I'm ready to study all the pieces. And clearly I'm with the best of the best here. There's an elite team that you've brought together. So I'm ready.
Yep, it is. We are an elite team. This is a very different episode where some of us may not be so elite by the end of it. So let's just sort of dive in and see what happens.
Someone's getting axed, I think. Did I just spoiler alert? Spoiler alert? Oh, okay.
Okay, so just to some quick show notes. Last time we did a contest to see someone commented below and someone with a $3,500 merch prize pack from both Barry, the Fire Team, and Triple Whale. So let's go find out who that is. There were 10 comments on the last one.
Is it me? Can it be me? Is it weird if it's me?
I would like my own hat.
Is it Barry? That would be even better if it was Barry that won his own hat.
It could be. We're going to do a random number generator here. I'm going to press it once. And it is number 10. So let's see. That's 1, 2.
Wait, what's the sort by here?
3. Sort by
Truth.
whatever's on the screen. 4,
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This person, HS.
Quality.
Maybe 69.
Hell yeah.
They've earned it.
Quality comment.
No idea how to get in touch with this person. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
You won.
One.
So tackled that. So we are running a little bit of a sort of different format here, where instead of like going through each video once, we have 2 brands where we have 2 videos from each brand. One is a top performer, and the other one didn't really work in market. So we're going to watch both videos, and then we're going to guess on which video is the top performer, which video is better. And if you're all going to sort of raise your hand and turn, based off which one. And if you get both wrong, then you're going to lose your medical license from Fire Team. So you may. And if Ike gets them both right, then we will remove the air quotes from his doctorship.
What do I get?
Ooh, then maybe you could be upgraded to note takers.
Doctor, note taker?
Yeah, or resident, junior resident or something.
Oh, okay. That was too ambitious. Okay, got it.
And then lastly, I did receive some feedback from a YouTuber consultant who said, you are now YouTubers, so you should talk like YouTubers. I have no idea what that means, but Rachel, why don't you give us your best impression of the comment, like, and subscribe thing?
Oh, don't forget to smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out.
Perfect.
That was
Ding the
good.
bell.
Subs for
Ding
subs.
That was
the
really
bell.
good.
Subs for subs still a thing? That was really old.
I don't know. On YouTube, it might be different. I feel like that's still alive and well on other platforms. Is it still on YouTube? I wish it was. That'd be nice. I'm with you. I'll sub for sub. That's fine.
All right, so let's dive right into the first brand, Daily Kairos. I'm going to put both these videos on the screen here. They're both about 30 seconds. They're both 1x1 square. Let's start with this one. We're going to watch it, digest a little bit, and then we're going to go into the second one. And then after that, we're going to vote. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Let's do it.
Ready for a new way to step into the presence of God without the distractions? Introducing the Daily Kairos Journal, a simple yet intentional tool created to help minimize worldly distractions so that you can get right to the heart of God. Find your quiet today.
Was that a little laggy in the beginning? I feel like it was a
It
little
was
bit.
laggy.
Okay, let me
Yep.
just play the beginning over.
Ready for a new way to step into the presence of God without the distractions?
Okay. Digested it. Let's look at this. Let's look at this other one. Okay, that was laggy too. Let me try it again. Okay, now has everyone decided on what their vote is?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'd like to see them both played at the same time.
Backward.
Battle.
Okay, so hands up for the people that think this first video was the top performer. Ike and Sarah. And then hands up for people who think the second video was the top performer. Barry, Rachel, and Aaron. Very interesting split room. The answer is this first video.
Wow.
Thank you.
Crushed it.
Those quotes are going away today.
You earned it. Earned it.
Good job,
And-
Sarah. Good job.
And the reason why I wanted to bring this one on, it's a little bit of a trick question because I found this one in that sort of triple whale Slack community, and the guy said it did great, and he showed me both of these, and he said this one didn't really hit, but this one does a lot of things that we have previously said not to do, or have previously. I knew you guys would. I knew some of you would be like, this one clearly doesn't work because we've talked about like being too high concept or whatever. So let's just watch this one again and try and figure out why this one works.
Ready for a new way to step into the presence of God without the distractions? Introducing the Daily Kairos Journal, a simple yet intentional tool created to help minimize worldly distractions so that you can get right to the heart of God. Find your quiet today.
So does anyone have any sort of initial thoughts about this particular video?
I think what it does well is it relates to a real world problem right off the bat, right? People get distracted. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of notifications going on. So I think it immediately gets the viewer to relate to what's happening and then
Mhm.
introduces the solution rather quickly. I think like 5 seconds into it. So I think that's
Right.
the way they achieve the nativeness of a video that we talk about, even though it is like a high concept, like highly produced piece. Yeah.
Anyone else?
When do we get the can you just tell me when like the resolution kind of happens? At what second the
Ready for a new
goes
way to
into,
step
like,
into the
meditative
presence
mode?
of God without the distractions?
5 seconds.
okay.
I think what this video does way better than this one is it plays to identity because it has the word God in it. If I'm like a religious minded person and I hear the word God, I'm immediately paying attention to whatever this is. This video, it doesn't like it has the word in there, but it doesn't say it. But this product, there's a million types of these productivity journals. I don't know that it's God. I don't know that it's like for prayers or God related or anything like that. So it's not immediately speaking to me. Like, but if you say the word God and I'm religious, I will give you the rest of the 30 seconds to pay attention here.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think it's really interesting when you look at these ads side by side, because from like a neurological standpoint, the first one has a lower cognitive load. Just the first image on there doesn't have like a ton of things in it visually. The second one already has like a ton of words in behind a ton of words. And as you roll through it, there's like more words and more words and more words. There's so much going on that the cognitive load for the brain to actually dissect it is getting higher and higher as you go through the video.
Right.
Which makes it like immediately, as soon as I get to about, where you are now, about 4 or 5 seconds, I'm clicking away because it's just too hard to process more than anything else.
Yep.
This one is fantastic. The first one was really good. And this is why I picked it, because it's so quiet. So they're linking to their overall core message through sound and through imagery at the same time. So I was like, this one has got to be it, because it's really well done. Very well done ad.
What's the sound at the beginning of this one?
Yeah, so sound design is key here. Let's listen to it again.
Ready for a new way to step into the presence of God without the distractions?
Yeah, silence. They had a piece of silence there.
Introducing the daily Kairos.
Yeah, even like the inhale, like if I'm listening to this with sound on and the inhale, I cannot scroll away until that inhale is resolved in my mind.
I agree. I'm like, somebody needs to breathe. We need to breathe.
Right. And it's
make sure he takes a breath.
And it's resolved in like it's almost like a sound thumbs up versus like a visual one.
Yes. Which is so smart. I think so few people use silence as a thumb stop or as a hook. And I think it's greatly underutilized, because silence is something we don't really hear on the internet very much, because we're constantly being overstimulated. So these guys did it great, because they used two different things. Silence, where we wanted him to take a breath, so we'll stay long enough to make sure the guy survives. But we also want to see where he's going, because he closed his eyes. So what happens after that, right? Like, we want to see what happens after he opens them.
What's the length of the one on the left? This one on the right's 30. They're both
20. Yeah, it's 26 seconds.
Yeah.
End card at 24.
I think it could be long. I think this first one, I would love to see a bit of, what I'd like to see is almost them put together, like starting with the first one and then, because I kind of like the
no reason not to
seeing what's in the journal and seeing the prompts and like the cards and that kind of thing. That kind of helps sell it into me a little bit more. Like, all right, I'm hooked in with the vibe of the first video, but maybe I need to understand the actual product itself. And that really comes in the second video. It could also be, followed up through with retargeting, and maybe that works well for them. But it could be interesting to mush them together.
Yeah, 100%, because that gives the context to all of these different things. Like if I'm going through this, there's says like work here, and then there's live, but there's key moments where like gratitude or like prayer. Like I need to see that prayer is in this very quickly, and it's not like mow the lawn or whatever, because there's so many products like this. I have products that look exactly like this, but they're not prayer oriented or whatever. So putting these together where it's like, this is in the presence of God and this is how you use it would be an excellent combo for sure.
I'm still mortified that I lost, but not really. Can you go back to the beginning of the one on the right?
Of which one?
The one on the right, yeah. Just to give me the two. So I'm mad that I fell for this. So I thought the one on the left was too polished. The one on the right, I thought was less polished. So I thought there'd be more to it. But looking at the very first frame, there's no problem here. Like this is not, these words alone, when the weight of the world is over, this is classic, like word garbage. This is bad copy that does not belong in the first frame. It doesn't belong in any frame, arguably. But if you could turn this into an I statement, or a past tense I statement, like I was feeling overwhelmed, period. You know, like you can do more than that, but I think that would add more, and showing it would be even more important. So instead what this showed was paper. Like, come on, this is a bad hook. So I should have known better. But to me, I don't know, I don't trust that either of these did that well. And I'd want to, like, it makes me want to look into the actual ad account performance and see.
Barry, you'll have your chance of redemption later.
I know. I'm bitter.
You're Barry.
This episode just got
That's
tense.
a really good point. That's a really good point about I don't see a face in here. I don't feel the overwhelming weight of the world. It's too much journal. I would like to see a different edit with emotion of a person, and maybe even somebody having positive emotions afterwards, after like journaling and feeling calm or whatever. But yeah, right now it's a little bit too much journal.
You can also make this feeling of stress without showing a face. You can like show like overdue, past due bills, and or like over, like there's like stressful things you can, or like post-it notes that say whatever, like what are you doing? Where have you been? There's stuff that you can make people feel stressed out about, which, sorry to say, I hate that. That's part of my job sometimes. But
on the left-hand side,
the
left-hand side, what they do at the very beginning, I think they do that very well. To me, I think I didn't catch it till the second time I watched it.
I was going to say that too, Rachel.
In the sound design, I think it could be bigger. I think this could be bigger, and it could be more overwhelming. But
I thought it was too quick.
In the business,
I didn't think it was super overwhelming.
And I would classic make ugly ads. I'm wearing my make ugly ads shirt today. I would make ugly ads version of this one on the left. Like, instead of animating that, just like show it on screen immediately. Like, it doesn't need to be animated in. It could actually do better just being actually on screen, screenshot in less, it'd be more authentic rather than that. But maybe that would do worse. But my point would be, whoever's idea was like, let's make this animated and really polished, assuming that does better is a bad assumption in this realm.
Yeah, Rachel, I'll argue that you did catch it on the first. Your subconscious caught it on the first view.
Sure.
And going back and looking at it, and I think that's the whole point. And this ad totally would not have worked if it didn't cut, if everything didn't drop out, and it allowed you to just think a little bit about what you just saw and what you're feeling as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that would be a little small
right
on the
in
device.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it worked, how well. I mean, it must work without sound too, because I don't listen to a lot of sound when I'm scrolling through, but I think it kind of still does. Like, obviously, if it's a higher performer, you do see all the Zoom things pop up, and he takes a big inhale. Like, I bet it probably does work without sound.
Yeah, I liked it. I really, really liked it without the sound and with the sound, because at the beginning we couldn't hear most of it. But to Barry's point, like, testing some of these elements would be really interesting. If you're a type of person that doesn't watch anything on Facebook with the sound turned on, the animations are extremely important because they're the only thing that's going to get you to stop. Otherwise, you just see a guy sitting at a desk and you're not entirely sure why he's sitting at a desk, and it's not really all that important to you until you see that tiny little blip. Oddly enough, they've done a ton of studies about the fact that white lights in particular, small white lights, are very attractive to the human eye, sort of like firefly. Think like Christmas light. So the fact that they're doing one small animation of something that's white on the screen is going to be very eye-catching, especially if you don't have the sound on. So I think they probably could test this and iterate a ton of different things on it and see if they could help it perform better. But they did a great job with this first round. I thought it was awesome.
There's now 1,000 growth hackers with gonna put like fireflies in every ad now.
Flying around everywhere.
I'm going to start a trend.
Just one light.
One light, not like a million. I would love to see that. If we start seeing firefly trends, I'm going to be like, you heard it first. Here.
Jess, on Monday, I want to see a chart from Fireteam of number of lights in white spots in an ad to conversions. I want to see the drop off is.
Well,
that would be epic.
Some benchmarks. We'll put the benchmarks.
Give me a benchmark on that.
I just want to go back to Barry's point about the text here. Like, the text should always be ruthlessly edited, particularly in the first 3 seconds. And there's a lot of frames here like this, like, holy shit, there's just way too much stuff going on here. And even breaking up the sentence bubbles mid-sentence, it's just creating some like cognitive load that it doesn't make any sense. And it's just, my brain quickly sees it and it's like too much to even read.
Don't move. Unforgivable lack of Oxford comma here. Let's just talk about that. That's why this ad failed. I missed it on my first way through. Clearly, any Oxford comma fans watching this ad would be disgusted, and they would close out of the app immediately. So that's probably
offended. I'm offended.
I think I have to agree with Jess's point though. Like the entire hook is relying on the text in this ad, right? Otherwise, it's just B-roll. So if it is word vomit, you're immediately checking out. Immediately, it's a novel right at the top. Like I don't have time. It's not thumb stopping.
Yeah, I changed my vote.
Me too.
Quotes are coming for you, Barry.
We can edit this. We can edit this YouTube, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, why don't you do a cut where you're like, I vote for number 1, and then Jess can do some editing.
So I want to talk briefly about one of our 2 sponsors. It's the Foxwell Founders and Triple Whale, our 2 sponsors. The Foxwell Founders is a digital community. Sarah, are you in there or no?
I am, yes. And I love it. It's one of my favorite communities that I'm in, just because there's such nice people in there.
Sarah dropped so much good value in there.
Thank you.
Sarah dropped some serious knowledge bombs in there.
Yep. I'm trying my hardest. Got to keep up with the experts in there.
One reason to join that community is just to see how Foxwell runs a community, because it's top tier. Like there are a lot of communities where it relies on, people sharing knowledge, and Foxwell someone will ask a question about YouTube ads or something and it'll go unanswered for like 30 minutes. And then Foxwell will like DM me and be like, can you answer this? And then I'll get in there. So running a community is very hard, and you do have to be proactive in order for people to provide value all the time. And I've been in communities where that's not the case. And there's like 3 times as many people and a third of the value that Foxwell community provides. So very interesting study on how to do it well in there.
I'll echo that. Sorry, that's a really good point, Jess. I was not expecting to talk about that aspect of it. It's such a positive environment as well. He's really fostered like this incredible supportive place. It's not like a lot of those Facebook groups that I'm just absolutely have been sick of for years, where everyone's just trying to brag and show off their new quote unquote method. It's not that at all. It's really
not a screenshot place.
Yep.
It's not like here's my high ROAS of the day. Yeah.
Plus you get to talk to Jess, Barry, and Sarah. So what's better?
Right.
We are there.
Yeah. He's ruthlessly anti-promotional, or when it comes to like other people in there. Like you can't even use like @here or @channel in there at all.
Oh, really? Interesting.
This is interesting. So this next ad, 8 Sheep Organics, is from this media buyer and creative, Satya. He's on Twitter. You should follow him. He does good work. We have 2 videos from here. One did well. The other one hasn't really hit yet. So I'm going to load both of these up.
Is he an actual PhD? Or is he like us? We're doctors.
Is that in air quotes? Or
it's a fun name, but I might have to, report him to the authorities if he's not.
Barry, didn't you know you can get a PhD in creative now? Jeez, you can get one online.
You can.
I will.
You can. Absolutely, you can.
Have one. You're Dr. Barry.
Yes.
I should.
You have
I should
one.
be teaching that. I teach that course.
He may have to after this one. So let's find out. All right. So these are both a minute long. So let's get into this first one.
I started thinking that I wasn't made to be a mother. During my 3rd trimester, I was lying awake every night. And so I started hating being pregnant and felt so guilty. I had enough of doctors saying the same thing over and over. So I started doing my own research to understand the root cause of my pregnancy insomnia. One thing that got my attention was how magnesium deficiency could be a cause of pregnancy insomnia, and how over 65% of pregnant women weren't getting enough magnesium. So I ordered a lotion from 8 Sheep Organics that's made with transdermal magnesium. As you might know, magnesium is absorbed better through the skin. I was skeptical at first because I'd already tried so many different products to solve my pregnancy insomnia and nothing worked. But then, a miracle happened. Before going to bed, I applied some on my back and legs, and I woke up the next morning not knowing what happened after that. I had just slept for 10 hours straight. Ladies, if you're suffering from sleepless nights, please give this lotion a try. You won't regret it.
Okay, we've internalized that one. Now let's move on to this next one. Also 1 minute.
If you're like me and struggling with sleep during your pregnancy, sleeping pills are not the answer. You see, even though they help you fall asleep, they don't help you get the deep, restful sleep that you need. So you wake up feeling tired and groggy the next morning. Instead, here's my go-to natural sleep remedy that's made specifically for pregnant moms. This little pregnancy secret is 8 Sheep Organics Sleepy Lotion. I've been using it for weeks after struggling with poor sleep, and this is the only thing I've found that helps me fall asleep and stay asleep. It's made locally in the US with only 6 ingredients that you can pronounce, like mango butter, beeswax, and magnesium, that work together to stop the toss and turn. You just have to apply some to your feet and shoulders after a warm evening shower, and trust me, you'll be asleep in no time. Ditch the sleeping pills and get a good night's sleep naturally with 8 Sheep Organics Sleepy Lotion.
That typo is funny.
Yeah. They should fix that.
Glitch.
I guess not. If it's a top performer, don't fix it.
No, add no. I need to make a new hat that says like add typos intentionally.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 ads. Who thinks this first one, the one on the left, was the better performer? Raise your hand.
Whoa.
None.
Wow.
Wow.
Go team. Go team.
Unanimous.
What if we're all wrong? What if
We're all getting demoted.
Take
We
it
have
back. We'll edit it out.
We're all wrong.
We have a consensus. We have a quorum. So I'm assuming everyone thinks the second ad is the right one.
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, this might be the last Adtopsy ever, because this first one was a better performer.
Oh, yes, you're lying.
Oh my gosh.
I have to see the analytics. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of surprising to me. I have like tons of reasons why I think it was not the top performer, but
Are you
I could
messing?
go either way on this.
oh, Barry, come on. You didn't raise your hand.
No, I look, I definitely picked this one on the right for sure. But like this was this one was harder for me to choose because I was like, these both are great and suck at the same time.
Yeah, I will also say that performance doesn't, there's so many reasons for an ad can perform, even if it's objectively worse. And we see this all the time with dynamic creative, where it's like there's like a million iterations and something will jump out early in social proof and comments and just catch a lot of steam, and then you can't really put that on a pedestal as like the creative example. So even though everyone was wrong here, it doesn't necessarily mean we're terrible at our jobs, except for Barry, who got it wrong twice. But we'll.
I'm fine.
Dr. Barry.
I want to dig in here. I want to talk through what I'm seeing and why this was actually difficult for me, because I'm looking at this the hooks of these, right?
Yep.
And I think about how authenticity and is like it's like a sliding scale, and you give and you take. The one on the left is pretty inauthentic to me in some ways, in that ring light, very clearly like off-camera light. Yep. I think very diffused. It's not natural. It's not a can light from above. that's something I notice, but like subconsciously, I think people notice. They understand this is something that's being shot on a phone, on a tripod nearby. It's not being handheld, and it's zooming in. So there's a lot here that could, get someone out of that authentic kind of belief, but also like it could exist on TikTok. That's okay. The one on the left again, could you start? What's the first text? First thing, was it just I was lying awake? The other one, the first video.
If you're like me, this one on the left.
Yeah, this one. I wasn't.
I started thinking.
Thinking that I wasn't. Yeah, I started thinking again. I like both of these had good past tense I statements in them. And then looking at the one on the second one, the one on the right, this I thought did better because I thought the text on the top was a good past tense I statement, and it showed some like realistic UGC. But what I forgot about was also like the split screen view is clearly an ad and would not exist in this way, almost definitely would not exist in this way in authentic UGC or like a TikTok or anything that people would be expecting to watch. So I think that might immediately take people out of it and realize it's an ad. So that's what I'll just say from a perspective of like subconscious hook under, interpretation. That's my quick thought.
I wonder.
Yeah, now looking at them side by. Oh, go ahead, Erin.
I'm just wondering if as a mom, like I'm a mom and that I wasn't made to be a mother is very resonating to moms.
I agree.
That
I saw that first too.
Yeah.
I thought that might be too over the top. I thought that might be like way.
No, it hit hard. It hit hard as a mom. It was like, I felt that.
No. Because most moms probably felt that way. And you feel so awful for feeling that way, but it's just like the truth. So I think it probably resonates with moms super hard. So.
And
I think.
Go ahead, Rachel.
I think looking at them side by side now, you feel the first one, or these two moms here feel the first one. The second one, the problem is I'm tired, and it's a different problem that's less emotional. Like, of course, you're tired, and that causes a lot of other problems. But I wasn't made to be a mother is something a little bit more striking.
The first one also has a pregnant mom. The second one, she doesn't look pregnant at all. She may be pregnant, but maybe she's like, I don't know, 12 to 20 weeks along and she's just not showing yet. Like I'm with Barry. Now I'm like upset at myself that I wasn't like watching this close enough, because that first one really is very particular to one type of person. It also doesn't tell you what the product is, so it hooks you in a little bit better. The second one, having the phrase, I ditched my sleeping pills, automatically as a person, I'm like, oh, sleeping pills. Well, that's not me. I don't have anything to do with that. It's interesting too. I didn't pick that first one just because the cognitive load was lower. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good one. But the reason I didn't pick that one is because it bored me halfway through. Like I got close to the middle and I was like, oh my gosh, she's going on and on and on about this.
Right. So both of these reads are slow and the editing is slow. There's a lot there. You could trim this down by, at least, 15% by taking out some of the pauses. And both of these testimonials are very inauthentic. And I would not be, they're both clearly like fake for sure. But I think we go a little too hard on the non-native stuff because there's a demographic that grew up with infomercials and people overreacting, and there's very much a reason why she's like ridiculously crying here. And I think that can work for a certain demographic for sure, and I think it can work in general. If both of these ads, we know it's subconsciously, we know it's not real. Once we assume that, I think this is a better ad. It's just more. It's more demonstrative. She's struggling, and there's a great scene here. This one where she's researching and she mouths the words here. Let me just play it again.
I started doing my own research to understand the root cause of my pregnancy insomnia. One thing that got my attention was how magnesium deficiency could be a.
Like I love it when she mouths it like magnesium.
I didn't
deficiency.
even catch that. That was not something that I like consciously saw as we were going through it because I was reading the words. Right.
So when she mouths that, because that's like she's going through the buyer's journey here. They're sort of demonstrating and she's researching it. And this is less that. It's less like it's just like pitch, 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 pitch. And it's really interesting to like go through the entire buyer's journey, starting from, this feeling. Obviously, it's, no one's shooting themselves sleeping or whatever, and then finally getting it. So I think there's a story element where if you stick with this ad, you're likely to convert.
I love that you said that. She's going through the buyer's journey, and it actually feels like now I don't have to. I can just buy because she already did it, and I trust her. She did the research. That's so interesting. Like even just showing her doing the research is not. That's such like a subconscious thing.
Yep. Any other thoughts on either of these ads?
I like how the second one, I think it kept me longer in terms of, a lot of different types of shots. She's at the grocery store. We always use that sort of grocery store shot. It's different locations, and she's applying it. So I guess I might want to see a little bit more of that in the first one to keep my attention. But yeah, I don't know. I also think the first one, she is a little bit more of a convincing actress. And I don't like, obviously it's still inauthentic, but her read is not so slow. The second woman, her read is a little bit slower and choppier, and it is less authentic.
Yep.
I'd want to find a way to combine them, put them together. Yep. I mean, there's some power in like having a single perspective storyline, but I think there's also more power in having, choosing the best parts of each of them and putting them together. I think could do a lot.
Yeah, a great combo is one interesting person to hook you, and then follow up with multiple people to even back up what that person says and give them credibility. I'll also say Satya does a great job with the subs here. They're very like short, fun, interesting to read. I love the way this is done. More so than like just tossing it at the bottom or leaving too much text on there. So that's in both of these, and I think they're very watchable because of that.
The emojis are fun too.
Yep.
That's something I feel like we should do more of, having the emojis also punctuating the captions. I would love to see this whitelisted from a woman rather than the brand, and see how that changes things.
Why not a man? Have it whitelisted from a man.
Also whitelisted from a man.
Make gendered
You might as well test it. No.
I will.
That was great. So we have one more, and before get into that, just want to talk about Triple Whale, one of our other sponsors. Really absolutely critical these days. I don't know if these ads were performing well according to Facebook, or even if we believe that or whatever, or if they're doing well according to Triple Whale. Sarah, do you use Triple Whale at all?
I do, yes. And I know a lot of people on their team. Raba, shout out to Alexa. She's my favorite. She's just good humans at Triple Whale.
Yep. Great company. I'll save my story about how I get paid $600 to talk to random people about Triple Whale for the next episode. But so this last one is just one ad. It's from the suit shop, and I'm not sure of what the performance is. I will say that it is one of the oldest ads in the ad library. And Barry, I know that you would say that automatically means it's one of the top performers. Isn't that right?
Yeah, automatically, right.
With no extra context.
Right. So, I mean, I think I would give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure they do a good job of media buying over there with Kristen and co. So I wouldn't say it was left on, but we don't know. But so let's take a look at it. It's 47 seconds here.
Everybody trying to go, yeah, the party jumping off. Hey, we putting on a show, trying to catch a vibe. We do this every time, like, na 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 na. This is where I wanna be, na na na. Never ever gonna leave, na na na. You ain't looking for me.
So the reason why I wanted to put this ad in here is because, again, I did want to challenge us because it goes against a lot of the typical things that we do say. And I know we don't 100% know if it's a top performer. Maybe Kristen can let us know. But if we assume that it's not terrible, I'm curious if anyone has any takes on why this is working, or ways to improvement, or right.
It's really well shot, really well edited. The music is good. I think if you were getting married and the videographer and editor gave this to you as a wedding video, you would be pumped. As an ad, I think it lacks a hook. It's a wedding video up until the last end card, right? I don't know what it is about. It's just a guy getting dressed in a suit. I assume it's something related to a wedding, but if it had some sort of text on screen talking about how important it is to look good as good as you feel on a day like this, something like that, something to just let me know, oh, this is going to give me a solution or a service to help me look this great. I think that would be my advice for the ad.
I do think one
Fade in from black. Classic terrible start. Fade in from black. I am.
Oh, Barry.
Look, actually, just to my own point, I haven't retested that in a long time, so maybe that would be a good, thumb stop these days. Like maybe because people aren't used to it, but traditionally, a fade in to start your video is never good.
Right.
The only thing I can think of is like, can you start this over again? The only thing I could think of that could be working about this is that it's getting people's attention because it looks like one of your friends posted their wedding video, and you'd be watching it because you're like, which one of my friends is this? Is this someone I remember from summer camp or
I don't know this person.
or college? Who is this? And then by the time you're done realizing you don't know these people, you're watching an ad.
Oddly enough, though, wedding videos are probably one of the most watched things on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. People love edited wedding videos. I think because weddings just happen very rarely. I mean, they don't happen like every day within our social context. So this one is I'm going to talk to Kristen and ask her, because like this one's probably a good performer based upon the fact that it's a rare thing that you don't see every day, but also based upon the fact that they're calling in a whole bunch of relationship ties. Like you can tell, like if your buddy slaps you on the butt, like you clearly have a pretty good relationship with that person. So it's drawing a whole bunch of subconscious motivators into the actual video itself without having to actually do much. So by the time you get to the end card that says suit shop, you've connected all of these relationships are related to the brand.
Right.
Which is fantastic for them because they didn't really have to do anything other than show a wedding video.
Yeah.
I think it's a great ad. I like it.
I think that's an excellent point, Sarah. I think two things this does well is that there's, suit shop, you can get suits for all sorts of occasions, but there's periods where people are hyper focused on certain things. If you're pregnant, you're constantly searching for information about pregnancy. And if you are planning a wedding and there's like wedding content, I don't think you need text that says like, are you planning a wedding? You're just focused on wedding stuff. And to your point, Sarah, this is very aspirational. This is the best wedding of all time. You want this wedding. It is so fun. Everyone's happy. Everyone's perfect. There's moments that are not the butt slapping. Even though this is shot, the butt slapping is not like in the script, and it's like now you slap that butt or whatever. So it's shot beautifully, so it doesn't feel like native UGC, but it absolutely feels like it's real.
Also, does this guy not sweat? Like, okay, for anybody who's been to a wedding, as soon as you get to the dancing part, the whole tux is like yellow because you're just sweating buckets
not
of
suit supply Texas.
Not suit shop, baby.
Not suit shop Texas. Clearly not suit shop Texas, because look at this guy. I mean, he spent a whole day in this, obviously, and he looks fantastic all the way to the end. I mean, I did not look that good at the end of my wedding. I was exhausted. Like, there was no way.
I do.
Sorry, go ahead.
I like that it starts with the the parts of the wedding that are more functional, like making sure you feel comfortable on your wedding day, making sure you can dance in your suit and feel good, making sure you can dip your bride, whatever like those things are, then it goes to the beginning of the wedding, like getting ready. So I kind of like that they try to show you like this suit is not only really beautiful and great for your wedding, but like you can feel like yourself in it. Like it felt like that's how they started it.
I'm so mad at this. Like, I just like going back to Sarah, like what you said about weddings. Like, people love weddings. That's why they force every TV show that you've ever watched to include weddings. Or, like
So true.
It's a thing. It's a trope. But what really bothers me is you don't know what this is for. This could be an ad for pretty much anything, and you only find out at the end.
Right.
Also, I really don't enjoy. And maybe that's okay, but I just don't enjoy that. It's like it's out of order. It's like they did like the photo shoot part and then they did the wedding. Like, like they do
You
all
don't
this,
like that. I actually like
and then
it.
they go into the party and then they go into the wedding. Like it's wild. I hate it. But maybe it's what works, is that it makes me uncomfortable. Like, this is completely out of order. Like it's like
Barry,
if
you're
you
my
were to show this,
favorite.
thank you. If you, and you're welcome. If you were to squeeze all of that down, hyper speed into like 3 seconds as a teaser, like, and then go to that would be great. That would be really a neat way to do this. Also, like, if this was my thing, I would throw just work on some text overlays over this. Like, boom, just like talk about some of add more emotion to it. Also, add, obviously, that we all agree the thing that this ad is missing is a problem, which is a wedding that goes wrong because of a bad suit, where she says no. They go to the I'm just kidding. That would be hilarious.
The suit jacket rips.
That suit is wrong.
Your suit is terrible. We can't be in this marriage. I'm sorry.
She takes the ring off. She throws it at his face.
Yeah. You just have a huge wardrobe malfunction.
Divorce papers are served right at the end.
Oh, that's so bad.
No, that's even better. Is the marriage ends in divorce? That's a bad suit.
Where are they now?
Well,
that's what this ad needs. Is I need to know 10 years down the road, are they still
Yeah, exactly.
To speak to the stages of awareness a little bit, I think people who are looking to plan a wedding are already really concerned about the issue. They already know what the problems are. And so they might not need like, do you need to dance at your wedding? Or it's like suits are so whatever. I mean, it depends on what stage they are, but I think this is like a brand ad, and it, for whatever reason, it genders a lot of positive affection for the brand right at the end card. If you get there, you may not get there, and the hold rate. The other thing worth noting is that there's no text overlay or context, which might not be so much of an issue if this was Square or 4.5, and I knew it was like running in feeds, because you don't see it here, but there's probably some copy related to weddings or 20% off suits or whatever. But if this is just running as like in a real ad or something, you're going to miss a lot of that. And it's clear that it is vertical, so that might not be there. So
yeah, I agree. That I think there's
too.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And I think I might disagree with you that, if you're already in market for a suit and you've seen 10 other suit ads, I think you need to work harder, because anytime I go look for a pair of shoes and then I'm served 50 shoe ads, I start ignoring all of them. So it's not that I'm in market and I'm like already in tune to what I need. I think you have to also still provide like the product benefits or whatever the story is or something. I think that might be missing. But the fact that this is a brand play and it's been playing for so long, I don't know, this might be running video views. I'm not convinced that this is a conversions.
It's also not bad for that. It's also not bad for that.
No, right.
Also, classic lesson of targeting with your creative. The in-market thing for things like this is what I actually don't enjoy working on, because it's really difficult to accurately target people.
Right.
So you kind of just have to make the broadest, like you have to make messaging that works for more people, and hope that you're catching people in a time where they need to see this, but know that you're also hopefully leaving a lasting impact on them for like 6 months, 12 months, 2 years down the road when they like need a suit. That's what's crazy about businesses like this, where you might not be looking to get a purchase immediately. You might need to be optimizing to like lead or something else like that. So yeah, and also just keep in mind that there is a bigger impact, which is why I would want to like incorporate the brand more into this. Like at least show, oh my God, show the packaging,
the
there
unboxing or whatever. Yeah.
That just give me like a frame of that, like somewhere, to at least know something about what this product is aside from just a nice suit. Anyone can sell me a nice suit, a nice tux. So I don't know what the differentiator is. Yeah.
So I think one of the lessons here is that, we're looking at this ad in isolation. The suit shop is running a lot of other ads that very much follow all the practices that we talk about. They look very direct response, testimonial and stuff like that. But building a robust brand like the suit shop is about, like if you build your entire creative on kind of like what Pros does, where it's like, it's you've seen one ad, you've seen them all. That is ridiculously risky, in my opinion. And it is helpful to broaden, not everyone responds to the best practice of what we talk about. And there's people that just eat this shit up, and if you can use an ad like this to get some of them in there, or, just a little bit of brand love, you'll have a much healthier ad account. And that is all. What a disgraceful episode, you guys. How are we going to redeem ourselves?
For shame.
Well,
Barry's been demoted to Dr. Barry.
He's doing back alley autopsies in there.
Look, this is important though. This is like so exciting for anyone who saw this. Like, all of us are good at this and we're all wrong. And like, being wrong is part of this job. And a big part of why I talk about make ugly ads is because we have biases and we believe things. And if we only make the things that we think will work, and we only make the things that make sense to us, and we don't test against the small hypotheses, we will never succeed. So it's really important to be willing to be wrong and to make stuff and be wrong and fail. So I was really excited about us all being wrong on that one. And we should be wrong. And that's
just didn't want to be alone, Barry, in your wrongness.
I will say, Sarah and I got the first one right, though.
We did.
So just want to put
I
that
got
out.
them all wrong, and I'm the note taker, so I'm not sure like what I get demoted to. I'm not sure what's lower than the note taker at this point.
Right.
Your opinion is extremely valuable.
It is.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's a good point, Barry. Like, even like we make ads that fail all the time, but I think the point is that if you do, it's like baseball. Like if you do follow the stuff that we're talking about, you'll just have a better batting average and a better on base percentage. You're not going to hit a home run every time, but at the end of the day, you'll win more games if you put the right effort in to do the right things most of the time. You can't account for luck and a million other things, but yeah.
Totally.
Good pep talk.
Now I feel good.
Good team.
Officially redeemed. Thank you. So Sarah, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us where people can like find out more about you as well?
Yes, I am over on Twitter all day long, pretty much every day, with the exception of Saturday when I try really hard not to get on it, but I do anyways. You can follow me at Sarah Levinger, Levinger. It's a Jewish last name. That's from my husband, Sarah Levinger. Or you can find me on my website is hgperformancecreative.com. I have a YouTube channel also if you want to follow that. That one is also the same, HG Performance Creative. And I'm not a competitor to the Fire Team, I swear. I'm doing my own thing over on YouTube. And I follow you guys religiously, and I'm just going to watch everything you do and try and emulate how good you are at this, because You guys are just dropping so much gold, and I'm like, geez, I don't know if I can compete with that. Maybe I'm going to go over on Twitch is what I'm going to do, and play video games and talk about consumer psychology while I do it.
Oh my God.
When is my episode going live on?
Barry, wouldn't that be so fun? Let's do it.
Wait, didn't you? We did record something. Are you talking about a different
No, I
channel?
thought you were talking about Twitch. You don't want to come Twitch with me?
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh, sorry. No, definitely. I just was trying to
Your
get
next episode is coming.
channel.
No, yes, you're totally right. I did an episode with Barry for YouTube, not for Twitch. And I've been working on trying to find an editor. Finding a good editor is really, really hard. I didn't realize that that's like a thing for you too.
We have a very good editor, but we're not going to share.
Come on.
Dr. Ike is our editor.
There's got to be some way we can work together. Yeah, it took me till this week to find one. So I've been editing all of my own videos. That's why it's so slow to come out. So Barry, I apologize.
I'm not trying to rush you. I was just trying to plug your podcast and
Thank you.
promote myself as well.
Speaking of which, Barry, where can people find you on the internet?
Ooh.
On Twitter @binghot and then barryhot.com. That's 2 T's, HOTT. You can go on there and contact me for my services, I guess.
The foremost.
You have such a cooler name than I do.
I'd rather if you didn't. Just leave me alone.
We just Google you instead.
Bing hot.
What will we
Well,
find,
see what-
Barry?
I don't know. It's mostly stuff that I control, but probably some
You'll
other
find
articles and things.
his love playlist.
Yes, Spotify.
I need to see if I need to make those public. Yeah, I'll start sharing those more.
I want them. I want access to that. That sounds amazing.
I think we need to make access at least to the fire one.
Oh boy. Yes, I need to share that.
So great episode, everyone. If you're interested in what Fireteam's up to, head to our website, fireteam.is, or hire Fireteam at Twitter. Looking forward to that. And thanks to everyone.
4,000 followers. Congrats, 4,000 followers. You did
it.
Let's get that to 10,000. Let's go.
Yeah.
One of the most underrated Twitter account by far.
100%.
My theory, and I don't know if it's true, is that it's harder to build followers as a brand than a person.
100%. I think you should put your face in there, honestly.
You're doing it right though, Jess. Like I feel like people know Hire Fire Team on Twitter. Like you've at least heard of them, and you know that somebody awesome runs that channel because oh my God, the jokes that come out of there, man. Your humor is fantastic. I would know your tweets anywhere. You're doing it right.
Love it. Thank you.
What you don't know is that 30% of them are from me.
Rachel. Yeah.
Recording stopped.